Okay, well, it looks like it's the four of us. That's fine. Whatever. So the first one is feel good thoughts and actions get me what I want. True or false?
True.
True. Why?
Because of the law of attraction, we are attracting to us what we're thinking about. And if we're thinking about good thoughts and doing good actions, then we're drawing them to us.
You got it. Well, well said.
Very good.
Yeah. Number two, my subconscious runs my body and can cause me to experience illness and pain or healing and well-being.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yes. Depends on what you send down to your subconscious, because the subconscious is like our operating system running our body.
Mhm.
And so if you send it good stuff,
Mm.
you can have healing and well-being. If you send it bad stuff, you can have pain and illness.
Exactly.
Is this making sense to you, Judy?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to share a story with you about this particular number two. Um, Back when I was working, um, I would sometimes need to take a day off from work, but I only had so many days to take off, and I would have to use my sick time. So I would call in sick. And invariably, when I called in sick,
You
I
get
got sick.
yeah.
So after a while, I caught on to what was happening. And I would call in after that and say, I need to take a sick day today, or I need to use a sick day. I'm never saying I'm sick. And it helped. It changed the
Right.
course of it.
Yeah, be careful of those I am.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Careful what you say. Yeah,
Right.
Well,
right.
I think saying I am is very powerful.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Number three, habits are autopilot muscle instruction programs stored in my subconscious. What do you think about that one?
I want to give the other person a chance to
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, they are. Yeah, that's what they are.
That's
And
if like for example, if stored in your subconscious, I have trouble with walking, so I've stored times when I would fall in my subconscious, but I should change the habit to think of good good walking.
see yourself walking smoothly and perfectly.
Yes.
And when you walk, you can say, I walk smooth, perfectly. My legs operate just like I need. Things like that to reinforce that, send some more good stuff down.
Yes.
Mhm.
and I have great balance. My balance is great.
Yeah.
Right? Good. It's really pretty amazing. All of the instructions to your muscles and all of the neuron firing that has to go on to make us perform things that we do automatically.
Hmm.
And so when I help people stop smoking, the first thing they have to understand is that smoking is a habit. And they have to decide that they want to change the habit, because that's what it is. there's some amount of chemical dependency, but the chemical dependency goes away after 3 days. So all you have to do is stop smoking for 3 days and the chemical part is gone. It's the habit part.
Ah,
And so you have to, usually substituting another habit helps, like drinking some water or chewing on a straw or something like that. Sometimes people decide on another habit like eating candy, which usually causes a different problem,
right.
but they stop smoking. All right. So number 4, events may trigger reaction programs stored in my subconscious that bypass conscious thought.
Judy, do you want to take that?
Well, I think that your subconscious always thinks more than your conscious thought. That you come to your subconscious first, and that's like all the time. But your conscious thought is that you think above the subconscious thought.
That's a good way of putting it. The subconscious reacts first, which is the first thought, and then if you want to, if you're trying to, if you're desiring to override that with subconscious thought, then you can intervene. But
Yes.
the subconscious comes first. Yes, that's what happens. So realistically, we spend a lot of our life doing things that are subconscious programs. But we're well, I'll stop there. Virginia?
Okay, so I presume you're talking about walking, digesting, is that when you're talking about a lot of our lives are spent doing things unconsciously? Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about?
Mhm.
Okay, so other than the autonomic nervous system, can you give another example of an event that might trigger a reaction program stored in the subconscious that bypasses conscious thought? I was thinking of the startle response, like a loud noise. You jump maybe before you even it registers consciously. Do you
Yes,
have?
that's one. But so you're a psychologist, so I'm sure you studied Pavlov.
Yep,
And so what Pavlov's experiment with the dogs was ring the bell, and the dogs salivated
right,
because that's a habit that developed.
right,
So there are reactions like that we have too. Somebody says something, a word or a phrase or something to us that triggers a bad experience we had a long time ago, and they get angry and don't really understand what made them so angry, but it was a triggered emotion that was in their subconscious. So things like that happen a lot. A lot of reactions to people or things are that way. Our driving is a lot like that. Our subconscious drives our car. It's a good
right,
thing because there's too many things to worry about if we had to do it consciously.
right,
So, for example, if the car in front of you's brake lights come on, your foot comes off the gas and onto the brake automatically before you think about it.
right,
So that's one of the things. So when you're driving, your well, your subconscious is driving, so your subconscious is at work. So we're on autopilot a lot. Um, but that doesn't mean we don't have free will and we are not conscious. We just have to exercise that consciousness and decide if we feel a reaction or a habit is happening that we don't want to take control back. It's really interesting. Number 5, thoughts and actions that don't feel good get me what I don't want.
Because our thoughts, whether they're positive or negative, attract like or similar things to us.
That's it.
The thoughts actually are a magnet.
That's what it's like.
Mm.
And that, and because of that, pushing against or resisting or fighting stuff you don't want or don't like doesn't work. It just gets you more of what you don't like or don't work. So Mother Teresa's statement was, I won't join a, a march against war. I will join a march for peace.
Yeah, that's great. That kind of says it all.
Right, right. And that is the reason when I have to coach my hypnosis clients when they write affirmations, that they cannot put in their affirmation anything they don't want or any negative, because that just does the opposite of what they want.
Right.
So the people who want to stop smoking cannot put, I stopped smoking, I don't smoke anymore, I'll never smoke again. Can't put any of those in there. What they've got to put is, I breathe free and easily. I smell good. My teeth are clean. Things like that. Okay. I live simultaneously in a time-space-based physical world and in a timeless, non-physical, infinite universe.
I think that's a great concept because we don't grow up knowing that or being aware of that. And we certainly aren't taught that in school either. But it's it's a basic concept that we should all be taught from the time we're very little, so that we can take advantage of the gifts that we have and use them in this timeless, non-physical, infinite universe, as much as we use clues, for the physical world in which we live.
Right. So our consciousness, our personality has a physical component. I'm here in my brain I'm using, and we have a non-physical component, my inner spirit,
Oh,
that we call inspiration or God within us, grace, all kinds of names given to the inner life force that is infinite and eternal. And that's really, one of the main messages in my book is that we're dual, we're single personalities with dual consciousness parts, or however you want to say it. It's a complex. We're actually watching us, even I actually watching a series of philosophical discussions between Deepak Chopra and a physicist
Don Hoffman.
Don Hoffman is his name, that discussing consciousness and what's the universe composed of. And it's interesting because there's no scientific explanation for what the universe is composed of at this point. And so they're all the information they have only covers about 3 or 4%
Right.
of every aspect. So but consciousness pervades it. So I think they're going to come around to consciousness as the pervasive. Number 7, I have access to guidance and instruction from experts in the past through my superconscious.
So is the superconscious the same as the non-physical infinite universe?
Yes, the non-physical part of us, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about our consciousness, there's the subconscious, the conscious, the regular consciousness, our regular conscious, our what's the word for it?
Unconscious or subconscious?
No,
Oh,
that's the subconscious. There's the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious. That's the 3 parts of our consciousness. So
Say that again.
there's the conscious part. That's what we're all using right now.
right.
Conscious part. There's the subconscious. That's like our operating system, where all our habits and automatic things reside. And there is the superconscious. That's the God part within us. Here comes Yvonne. And the superconscious is, yeah.
But what
our
was your question? Your question was about the conscious?
connection to the divine. No, the question was, I live, no, we did, that was it, number 7. I have access to guidance and instruction from experts in the past through my superconscious. Yes. So
Okay.
through your divine part, your inner guide, inner spirit, you have access to experts from the past. And that's why a lot of artists are guided by experts who have passed, painters, writers. So
And
Michael,
how do they access that superconscious?
you put yourself into a state of readiness by relaxing, clearing out all, trying to keep out the other thoughts about present stuff or future stuff, and just listen to what comes up. That's how. Listen to your intuition. Follow your what you think, what your thoughts are.
And what's the difference between accessing that and accessing your regular, your unconscious or subconscious?
Well, accessing your subconscious is difficult because your conscious doesn't want to let you get there. It wants to protect it. So here's a person's life history. They come in with a blank slate, and then they absorb what people tell them. They absorb all the rules from their parents and, authority figures, teachers, preachers, priests,
Plus their own learning experience, like don't touch a flame because it'll burn your hand?
right? Yeah,
Okay.
everything. So then they have a whole lot of information has all been absorbed, which means it's gone into their conscious and subconscious. And at some point, around the ages between 5 and 7, what happens is they get exposed to some contradictory information. And the conscious mind says, uh-oh, I'm going to get confused. And so it effectively puts a firewall around the subconscious. And now contradictory information gets rejected. That's why habits are hard to change. That's why things from our childhood are hard to change, because they're sort of in protected territory. And that's why it takes like hypnosis or some other, that's why therapy helps people get to that where they can change it. So you have to get through the conscious protection of your subconscious to be able to change those things.
Okay.
And so what the hypnosis trick is to distract the conscious mind so that it shuts down, gives up in the conversation, when you are able to go into your subconscious and make some adjustments. And you do that by either getting it to go play on the side someplace, or to just shut down and say, I'm out of here. And that's what I explained to you last time about the eye lock does. That you can't open your eyes no matter how hard you try. Your conscious mind says, this doesn't make any sense to me. Of course I can open my eyes, but I can't. So I don't know what's going on. And so it checks out. The same thing happens if you startle somebody. If you're physically startled and say sleep, the conscious mind just goes out. Like if you tilt somebody back and say sleep, it's automatically in a trance. Or if you go to shake hands with someone and with your other hand, you reach around and grab their arm and pull it instead of shaking hands with them, that's something totally unexpected, and it's a startle for them. If you do that and say sleep, they go right out. So that's the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious. Of course, well, we can deliberately, from our conscious mind, make changes in our subconscious, but it takes a little effort. It's not automatic and easy like it was collecting all the stuff in the first place.
And does it last? Do those changes last? Is there something you do to anchor them to make it last?
Yes, you reinforce them. You reinforce them through repetition, because that's the way habits are built. So repetition trickles down kind of in there. So that's why all of the hypnosis clients get some affirmations to repeat morning and evening when they first wake up and when they fall asleep, because those two times are when your channel between your conscious and subconscious is most open. So your brain spends about 50% of its energy processing visual material. So you go into half trance, if you want, when you close your eyes, take some deep breaths and relax. So as you're falling asleep and as you first awaken, before you open your eyes, that's a really good time. You know, when you say, is it time to get up? Should I open my eyes and see what time it is? Or should I just go back to sleep? When you're in that state, that's a great time to give your subconscious some instructions. It'll go right in. Okay, any more questions about that?
Do I have speech? Hi, I'm
Hi,
sorry I missed
Yvonne.
last. This is so interesting. My sister, I really think she's a really good person. She actually tells herself things, as she says her prayers and protects everybody in her prayers. And then she goes on to to help herself, now let me rest and
Yeah.
have my body rejuvenate and all those things that you want to repair.
Yes,
And she says she falls asleep before it's even done.
right.
Yeah, she just, and so I've been trying to do that. I don't know if it's working, but yeah, maybe. I'm sleeping much better, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
So,
But this is so interesting,
I'm going to move on to number 8. I can make miracles happen because I'm connected to the infinite power through the flow.
Ooh, I think that I agree with that. I think I've done that.
Yes, you have. We all have.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
just need to acknowledge that we can do it again, more, and all the time. Number 9, the 4 steps in the law of attraction are desire, escrow building, allowance, and manifestation. If you didn't read the section on this, escrow building probably sounds a little foreign. So let me explain that. The law of attraction starts with desire, and that's pretty automatic. We have when we like something that we want, um, it's automatically starting the law of attraction, that first step. But then what happens? It's like putting the directions into the GPS. Here's where I want to go, our destination. That's our desire, our destination. Then what happens is the GPS calculates the route and gets the instructions together that will get you there. So the same happens with the law of attraction. Our inner being and the universe, divinity, gets the stuff together to answer our request. So escrow means that the stuff is already gathered and it's just waiting for the right moment to be released. So when we have an escrow account on our mortgage, which means that every month some money goes into it and it just waits until the tax bill and the insurance bill hit, and then that money is released to pay those. So that's what an escrow on a mortgage is. And the same is true with the escrow on our whatever we want for our manifestation. So it's being built and accumulated once we desire it without anything happening on our part. The universe and the flow and our inner spirit are all taking care of that part. The next step is allowance, where we allow it to flow to us, which means that we covered last time this little card about number 10.
Oh, wait a second, back on number 9, so you went into escrow building, what was allowance?
Allowance is
Oh,
all of these things that we do to allow it to come to us. And you just from before, remember we did this step.
okay, all of those things allow
Those
it to
things
come.
To manifest, allow to manifest.
yes, they're all our part of allowing to manifest.
But that's all number 9. Now I put allowance
that's-
10. No,
It's
okay.
all
Can we see
allowance.
that page? Can we see that page again? Your picture?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because that was not in the, this is not in the book.
Yeah.
So that's the allowance step 3 of the manifestation 4-step process. So that was step 3, answering the 9 in statement 9. That was the
Desire, escrow, allowance is 3, and
Yeah.
manifestation.
is the 4th step,
Okay,
Okay.
comes into reality. In the GPS model, allowance is you're just following the instructions. You're on the blue line and you get to your destination. It manifests your destination. So I
okay.
make the analogy that the law of attraction is like following a GPS. Okay, number 10. Death recycles my body and frees my non-physical spirit to all I was before my earth walk.
Death recycles my body to free my spirit.
Yeah,
Well, so we know that death recycles our body. It returns to dust, right? And we know that it frees our spirit. I'm not sure that we know what happens to it once it,
what happens to our
Free.
spirit after it's gone? Well,
yeah,
um,
it joins that massive,
our
Spirit.
logical conclusion is it probably goes back to where it came from,
right,
which is part of all
the-
part of God, all of the spirit, right?
right, right,
To what it was before my earth walk. Mhm.
right. Yes,
That's what
I
we're
would
told.
agree with that, yeah.
So we don't remember anything from our earth walk,
Oh, yes, of course, we remember it all.
but it says it frees us from my non-physical spirit to all I was before my earth walk.
So it frees my non-physical spirit to be back with all of it was before, but it doesn't forget what happened while we were here. In fact, that's so my belief is that we go through multiple life cycles as a way for our spirit to grow, to experience more. And so it keeps everything it learned from this lifetime, and it's a chance to come back and get some more of something different.
My first husband used to have nightmares about the Civil War, like he had been in it. And that was very strange. He'd wake up and just, and he would, they were, I would call them nightmares because he must have been involved in some really bad, he was a Marine officer and he had gone, but he wanted to go see all the battlefields. We had to go see them all. And one time when we were there, as we were leaving, and we were closing it, my children, and even my children that were with us, we could see these ghostly figures coming up out of, we saw it and we go, oh my God, we have to leave now. And I'm not kidding you. It was very realistic. And I said, I wonder, I used to say to him, I wonder if you've lived before and went through this battles here or something. There was something was very much into it. Collect books, everything.
Sounds like
But
sounds like it.
yeah. And so he seemed to have a really deep, he was very intelligent, very intelligent. So it was really something to see that. Okay, well,
Number
I
11.
know as a nurse, I've seen the spirit leave because the eyes become vacant. And I also worked, I told you at Metropolitan State Hospital where they were doing dissections of brains for different diseases that the older people and people there had, to try to learn how to just cure them and help them. And they also put them on beds that when they died at the moment of death, they became lighter. And then we charted that, and just all kinds of studies. They believed that our spirit was in the patella of the brain because it would become vacant, because they were doing brain studies at the same time and brain at the moment of death. How they were registering that, I don't know, but they did have things up on top of the head. So
Yeah.
I have no idea how they were doing it. But
Okay.
that's what they came to the conclusion. The patella of the brain stored the spirit, or who we are. And when we died, it became vacant.
Hmm.
So it was very interesting. But I'm also a very spiritual person. And I believe, I don't know, I just, sometimes I feel like I may have lived before. Sometimes I do that. I really do.
Mhm.
I seem like I'm in a place where, have I been here before? Or why do I feel like I've been here before? Yeah. Yes.
Virginia?
Oh, no, I'm looking, we have 4 minutes left and a lot of.
I'm
Oh,
so
and
sorry.
is this our last session?
Yep, it is.
Okay, because it doesn't look like we're going to get through these.
No,
Oh,
I have to leave at 12 too.
okay, so we will get through them. Oh, wow, there's are a lot, aren't there?
There's
Yeah.
no way we're gonna get through that many.
Okay, well, we're gonna get to the next one,
Okay,
which is luck and fate are true explanations of the randomness of the universe.
Repeat that.
Luck and fate are true explanations of the randomness of the universe.
so I think that people who don't know about the law of attraction, that have not had access to that which you're teaching us, explain what happens to them by luck and faith, because they don't understand that their thoughts and actions are actually drawing these experiences to them, these experiences and people and events to them.
So what does that make this statement?
False,
False.
right?
This is the only false statement.
So
Yeah.
far,
Yeah, it's the only one I could probably.
okay, I'll take your word for it. You would know.
So
So
luck and fate are not going to help you get
no,
ramification. So I'm when I'm worried about not being lucky. Okay, so that's all false. But you're not lucky, and you don't have faith. I don't understand that, but okay, I have to think about that.
so first off, there's not there isn't much randomness in the universe. That it's I believe that's all order of some kind. But luck and fate are not good answers or explanations for the way the law of attraction works and the way energy flows. It's a way of sort of blaming somebody else or something else for what's happening to you instead of realizing that you're in control, it's your power that's doing it.
Ooh, okay.
So,
Hello. So
Well, I'm
So-
gonna have to leave.
all right. So, thank you all for attending this whole series. This is the last one, yes, because the gas tank is empty and
could you put this in some sort of I mean, the things here in some sort of paper form to go online that we could print or reread, or because if I'm the one that's causing all my problems, I'd like to know what I think I understand, but
so
uh,
you can. This
you can't.
if you go on to the link in the email
Mhm.
and then click on week 13,
Week 13, okay.
then week 13 is this.
Mhm.
Page will come up on your website and you can use your browser to print it.
Mhm, mhm.
Go over to the,
Okay, and where are these videos that you say that we have of the, I don't know how to access those.
okay, if you go to YouTube. so
YouTube,
First,
okay.
go to YouTube, and then in the search, put Duncan Tooley.
Mhm.
Then you can come up with my YouTube channel, and
Mhm.
they're all there in the YouTube channel.
Okay,
Every week that we've done.
all right. I thank you very much. It's been very interesting. I enjoyed it very much. And I'm
Virginia,
going to start applying it, and I'm going to find an Al-Anon. Can I take my son with me, or he won't go? He won't go. All right. Well,
Thank you.
thank you very much, and you have a very good weekend coming up, everybody.